Welcome everybody to the second race of Sprint Season 11 by Go Setups. We are here at the Nurburgring and we are in qualifying yet again. And right now we are on board with, let me have a look, Lars Buis for Blue Hawk Racing. And people are just about starting to get their laps in, and we'll see who gets the top time. Now, is this going to be the first valid time? Yes, it is. David Dvorak, a 156.812. That is the baseline. Nope. Dries Verhulst beats that by a whole second. 1.7 seconds, actually. 55.1, that is a good lap time by him. Then comes Radovan Zankel in P2, 56.3. Ganahade Hutama puts it in third at 56.4. Gets beaten by Ulia Vafik Priyanata. And then Bertold Limpa, a whole 9/10ths behind Dries Verhulst. But anyway, on the second row, or on the first row, in second place so far. Lars Buis, that's a 56.7. We were looking at him earlier. Fabio Gallamini 56.9 and Claudio De Barros 58.1. That is all of the valid times we have right now. Eric Giselle did set a 55.0. Unfortunately for him, invalid. Jarek Koch comes across the line of 58.7. Behind him comes Will Pierre, who sets a 57.4 up into 9th place in the Porsche. And as you can see, the conditions aren't the greatest. They are fast, so definitely not going to be the best times. But still, we should see a little bit of a track evolution, some might call it. And hopefully see some people shine when it comes to the end part of qualifying or not. Maybe the key to this qualifying is to go out as early as possible and catch the best conditions as you can. Eric Giselle sets the fastest lap time of the qualifying, 54.4 for the Porsche driver. Dries Verhulst does improve actually at 55.1. No, that wasn't an improvement. He collided with somebody and he's back into the pits. Maren Reisenhauser in the Honda, 55.8, puts him onto the second row. Bertold Limpa suddenly finds himself down in 4th place. Behind, Ganahade Hutama does improve by a couple of tenths and he's up at 56.4, up into 7th place. Gets beat though by Pacciolo Di Mano at 56.3. is what he can do, and that is a pretty good lap time. Marco Harsono also in the McLaren at 56.452, puts him very close behind Ganahade Hutama, but still in 9th place and on the 5th row of the grid. David Dvorak recently improving at 56.812 is a pretty good lap time for him. Marvin Reisenhauser improving by a whole 1.2 seconds. He will put himself up onto the second row of the grid. Sir Pluch goes quickest with a 54.335. And it is getting a little bit heated up at the top of the grid, as the top 3 separated by only 0.3 of a second. And who will come out on top is the bigger question. Currently improving your Oliver Ewig, going 0.6 up on his time. That will be, well, okay, he set a 9:16.3, so we'll see what his actual time will be as he comes across the line in just a little bit. From 17th, he goes up to 6th. I was about to say 16th. He goes up to 6th with 55.785. A great lap time by him, but meanwhile Sir Pluch still going a 10th quicker on his personal best. Bertold Limpa is behind him. One of the Blue Hawk cars going off the track. Bertold Limpa going 0.5 up on his time, and this will be a great improvement for him as he sets off to try and go ahead of Oliver Ewig. He gets ahead of Marco Harsono as well at 55.5. Great lap time by him. Lars Buis goes up into 9th place. Yerrick Koch. Where is he going to find himself? And he comes across the line in just a little second. He's 7/10 up on his time, hoping to get some ahead of Will Pierre and Claudio de Barros from 17th. He stays in 17th, fortunately a whole 7/10 away from Will Pierre. There's Oliver Ewig also improving on his time. David Dvorak going a 10th up as he comes towards the final sector of the track. And through the tricky chicane as the temperatures go pretty down and very, very cloudy. David Dvorak losing a bit of time through the exit off the chicane. And he comes across the line hoping to improve just by a little bit, but it won't be enough to get himself ahead of Kanahari Hutama. It is not an improvement for David Dvorak, unfortunately for him. Julia Vapik, Priyanata, 2/10 up on their time. And are they still improving? Yes, they are. 3/10 up. And not losing any time through the exit, which is great to see, and gaining a little bit through the final corner, as now very early onto the power, 4/10 up on their time. And that is a really good time up into 6th place, ahead of Marco Harsona and Oliver Ewig, and that is very, very good. Claudio de Barros going 3/10 up, trying to create a little bit of a gap between him and Will Pierre as comes across the line. Not enough to get herself ahead of Fabio Gallamini, but still in 15th place, which is good to see. Who are we looking at next? Will Pierre was improving, but are they still improving? A 10th up on their time. It's a 57.2. Good stuff. Sir Pluk now comes across the line of 53.9 for the Honda driver. Absolutely spectacular. Who else is improving? Radovan Zankel does improve at 55.8. Behind him, Fabio Gallamini, a whole second up and off the track. As let's have a look. The track not improving at all. Still 27 degrees. Very, very cloudy. And just absolutely nothing improving in terms of the conditions out there. But 7/10 up, that is heartbreaking for Fabio Gallamini, as he's going to have to try another time. But his tyres most likely will be absolutely horrible right now. As he comes across the line, what could have been a 56.152, which would have put him ahead of Lars Buis up into 10th place. But we cannot look at what could have been. We're going to have to look at the reality. As we have a look at Eric Giselle trying to dethrone Sir Pluk, going 4/10 up on his time and losing it all through that bit and just going off the track and losing all the momentum also by going onto the gravel. It's not an improvement either. As Will Pierre behind, going 6/10 up on his time. This will be a huge improvement for him. Up into 13th place at 56.662. Beautiful job. Beautiful job by Will Pierre. There's Awais Khan. Is he on a valid lap? We'll see in a bit. You see David Dvorak going 2/10 up. Everybody's improving so far. It looks like just having to get used to the conditions as David Dvorak. Big drift moment. And he now finds himself 10th down on his time. And unfortunately, the lap is just not going to be much better than it was before. Now Jurek Koch on the other side, going 7 tenths up. And remember, we said he only needed about 4 tenths up in order to get ahead of Will Brunnen. And there he goes, a 57.555. A bit too far away from Fabio Gallimini, but still up into 17th place. Great work by him. Fabio Gallimini trying to not be under pressure from Jurek Koch as he comes across the line in 16 now. He's in 13th at 56.610. But it can definitely be better, as we saw him muster his way round. Although it was an invalid lap, it was a very good lap for Fabio Gallimini. It's a waste Khan. Does he finally set a valid lap? Yes, he does. A 59.772. Definitely not the quickest out there, but at least it is a valid lap. As we have a look up the field, Radovan Zankel going 2 tenths up on his time, and this will be pretty good if he can get 3 tenths, because he might find himself up on the 3rd row off the grid. As he comes across the line from 9th, he jumps up into 7th place, just not enough to get himself up onto the 3rd row, but still a very good lap time indeed by Radovan Zankel. Fabio Gallimini going quicker as well, 2 tenths up on his time, which will be just enough to get himself up ahead of Ganahara Hutama, but the times definitely a bit closer than they were before. As he comes through towards the line now. And it will be a 56.5. And not enough to get himself ahead of Ganahara Hutama. Now, Marco Horsono did not improve. Who just did improve? It was Alia Vafik Priyanata. 55.510. And now on the 3rd row off the grid. Great lap by them to put themselves up that high and off the track. And he's going to have to go again. As we can have a look, still fast. Still no rain, but there might be rain in the race, which would be spectacular to witness, probably not so great to drive. Marco Horsono, a 10th up on his time. No longer is he up on his time as he comes towards into the pits. Fabio Ganahara Hutama, 9th. After setting a 55.780. Good stuff by him in the Ferrari. The season 9 AM champion now very much showing his real pace. Oliver Ewe going 3 tenths up on his time as well in the McLaren for Vivid Global Racing, or at least in the Vivid Global Racing livery, as he tries to get himself up on the 3rd row off the grid, which is what a lot of people can do as long as they just get a couple of the corners correct. From 10th, he jumps up onto the 3rd row of the grid, up into 5th place, and what a lap that is. As Krzysztof Makowski, again, I don't know how to say it. He did say that I was not pronouncing it correctly last time. I'm not sure how to say it, so apologies to Krzysztof. Yeah, you know what, I'm just going to call you Krzysztof. I'm not going to try and mumble my way around your last name and get it completely wrong. Krzysztof, joining the race, though a little bit late. So did Gianluca De Luca. But he's going to try and get himself a valid lap. He will have what is pretty much a one-lap shootout in order to get up there and, well, try his best. It's going to Hadi Hutama again up on his time, and this time it is a huge improvement. 6/10 up from 10th. He climbs up into 5th place. And it's like, as I said, just people need to do a couple of good corners through the final couple of sectors, and they can challenge for the 3rd row in this qualifying session. Now David Dvorak also 5/10 up. He's got Berto Limpar behind. Is he on a lap? Yes, he is also on a lap. Remember, Berto Limpar currently in 8th. David Dvorak in 4th. So there might be a little bit of a difference in speed, in pace between these two. But David Dvorak is allowed to be doing his lap, as he is up on his time as well. So through the final chicane he goes, bouncing straight over it, still valid. Berto Limpar should be actually thanking David Dvorak for the tow that he's getting down the straights, as Berto Limpar goes straight off the track. And David Dvorak improves, and ahead of Claudio de Barros for 15th place. Behind, is there anybody improving? Christoph finally setting his first lap. What will it be? We remember Christoph was up there to go for the lead of the race. Unfortunately, getting taken out, or taking himself out against the back marker. Again, that was a very hard incident to try and you know, process, as he actually goes off the track, and Christoph will not have a valid time on the board. And that is it for his qualifying session, as Will Pierre 5/10 up on his time, trying to get himself way ahead off the field. Definitely way ahead of 14th place, as he goes 6/10 up. And this is looking pretty promising to be ahead of Lars Buis, as long as he gets the final corner right. No time reduced there. 7/10, and he goes up into 11th. A very good lap time by Will Pierre. Oliver Ewig going a 10th up on his time as well, which will not get himself ahead of Hadi Hutama, but he's just trying to extend the gap between him and Olia Vafik Priyanata. Now a 10th up. That is an improvement for Oliver Ewig, and a 55.2. Olia Vafik Priyanata now a 10th up on their time as well. And now if they can get 3/10 in the final corner, they might be able to get ahead and onto the 3rd row, but I don't think Olia will be able to do that. And it is an improvement, but it's not enough to go ahead of Oliver Ewig. And that is it for the qualifying session for today's race. And 21 people on the grid today. A mandatory tire stop, I think, is on for today's race, as far as I'm aware. So we can put that up to 1. I know we can put that up to 1 when they actually get onto the grid. But let's run through the grid. Serd Plug. Oh no, you know what? I need to get that off. Serd Plug finds himself on pole position after Abe Santama not able to make it onto this race. Finally, Serd Plug in the Honda on pole position. That is a very good start to the race for him. Eric Giselle still on the 2nd row. Last time out was on the podium, and this time out also starting on the front row, hoping to challenge Serd Plug for the win. But 6/10 difference in qualifying does not look like it's going to be too much that he can do. Marvin Reisenhauser, after last time not really enjoying the Honda, finds himself on the second row of the grid with a 54.4. A very good lap time for him, and maybe can reinstate the confidence between him and the Honda, as he is third, and next to him will be Dries Verhulst. Then the Season 9 AM champion of Gunnarhane Hutama finds himself in 5th place, and then Oliver Ewig, Ole Vafek Prianata in 7th, and Bertold Limpar in 8th. Marco Harsono in 9th, and Radovan Zankel in 10th. Vale Pierre starting in 11th place, and there comes Lars Buis. Paciolo Domano finally making his debut in the season, unless he raced last time. I don't think he did. In 13th place, Fabio Galamini. Then in 14th, and David Dvorak. In 15th, McClaudio de Barros in 16th place, and Jarek Koch in 17th. Then comes Vil Veronen in 18th place, and Aves Khan in 19th. Christoph in 20th place, and Jean-Luca De Luca in 21st place. After these two not able to set a single lap time after joining a tad bit too late. Now, let's have a look at the weather forecast. Still fast. I just wonder if it's going to improve at all, because it should be raining. Well, it shouldn't be raining, but it could be raining because of this weather. And we're not seeing that yet. So, whatever is happening, I'm not sure the conditions that we will have throughout this race. All I can say is that they might change. They very well might change. As now we can put that they have one mandatory pit stop. And a mandatory minimum stop time of 0. As I don't really care. But what do we remember from last race? Well, from last race, we remember that there was quite a bit of carnage, but controlled carnage, except for when Christoph was overtaking a back marker. They did have a collision, and that caused Christoph to spin completely out, and it hit straight into the wall. And even with the repairs, he was not able to really challenge for the win, or even for top 20 position. So hopefully he will be able to make up for that. But obviously starting in 20th place, it'll be a bit harder to make up for last race. Also, we remember last time out, Marvin Reisenhausen not enjoying his stay with the Honda at all, as he had a couple of spins, and after that he was really hoping to get out of the Honda. But, you know, this time out, starting in 3rd, he'll be hoping for a better race with the Honda, and maybe will stop complaining in my DMs about how bad the car is. Now, you didn't hear that from me. You did not hear that from me. But this Nurburgring track, a track that also joins the big Nordschleife. It is the GP circuit, a pretty old circuit actually, and one that hosted one of my favorite Formula 1 races. I don't particularly remember which year it was, but there was an absolute devastating flood there, and at the start there was a German driver who pitted for wets when it was still quite dry, and he was leading the race in a terrible car. He was leading the race, and there was a huge pile-up into turn 1 as well, featuring Lewis Hamilton and some of the greats. There was like a 5-person pile-up, and it was just such an amazing race. Yeah, definitely watch it back. I think it was called the European Grand Prix. If you type in the European Grand Prix from the 2000s, it will 100% be there. Now, Camacho asking, where is his teammate Abe? Well, I'm pretty sure he's currently in the simgrid grand finals race, if I'm correct. So that should be that. But Sir Pluch finally getting underway. As he leads the race, he leads the pack. And hoping to maintain the lead, as one might say. And a mandatory tyre change for the people today. Also a mandatory refuel, and it is a fixed refuel time, so it doesn't really matter. Most people will probably have to come in for damage. Last race, we remember there was so much damage that nobody really pitted for just fuel. There was always somebody who had like 30 seconds, and that meant that they just had way more fuel added onto their car, and yeah, it was a huge amount of damage being spilt out last time out. But yeah, Sir Pluch leading the way. Now, if you do have any predictions, do put them in the chat, as we do love to see if they are correct or not. Yeah, Sir Pluch on P1. Great to see in the Honda. A bit of a Honda sandwich for Eric. And also, you'd love to know this, Tarhoon. I know you'd love to know this. Marvin Reisenhauser, your favorite person, is in 3rd place. So, do what you want with that information. But finally, they are going to be going side by side. As you can filter a little bit through David Dvorak going up and stopping. But we will look now up the field for the start of this race. Sir Pluch has a pretty major job. He's on the inside, so he should be covered off quite well. Eric Giselle has a bigger job as he starts on the outside and hoping to cover from Marvin Reisenhauser, who may have a better start. Now, depending on how well he puts down the power. And we'll see now as Sir Pluch comes towards the line. The Marshal on the side, holding the green flag that he will wave in just a second. And the race to go as Sir Pluch gets in a pretty good start. Eric Giselle also covering off Marvin Reisenhauser. It's actually Eric Giselle might try and go around the outside of Sir Pluch. No, he stays behind him as Marvin Reisenhauser now goes on the inside. And collision with Eric Giselle. And behind there is a huge amount of people. Just a little bit of a gaggle of people. There is McLaude de Barros. There is also Vafik Prianata. Only 2 people were stranded at the end of that straight. Eric Giselle, though, still in 2nd place as Marvin Reisenhauser. Yeah, big misunderstanding there as he tried to go for the inside, and the gap just narrowing. Dries Verhulst into 3rd place now, and Oliver Ewig finds himself up in 4th after picking up 2 positions. And we go back a little bit down. Marvin Reisenhauser now trying to fight up the field as he's now up into 9th place. Ahead of Villepierre, who's made up 1 position. Will Verunen making up 10 positions. He's now up into 8th place. And also Christoph and Gianluca De Luca up into 13th and 14th from 20th and 21st. Yeah, Eric up into second place. It's pretty good, as he is not too far away from Sir Pluch, but will try and fight it out. As now towards the chicane. No move to be done here. There's definitely a little bit more liberty taken as he goes for the inside, and Sir Pluch might be just a little bit too scared there. As Eric Giselle now having a little bit of a worse exit, will be in the slipstream as they head down towards the first corner. I don't think he'll be able to really make much of a move, as Gianluca De Luca making contact with Christoph and now tumbling down into 20th and into 21st place. As Marvin Reisenhauser going side by side with Bill Veronin around the outside. Ooh, a little bit of contact there. As Marvin Reisenhauser trying to continue to make up positions. What is he doing as he goes and pits Bill Veronin? Now that is, wow. I don't know, that's a pretty slam dunk. You know, you can definitely see who was at fault there. As Bill Veronin now down into 18th place. Pacholo Demano also tumbling down as Marvin Reisenhauser involved in another incident. Another incident involving Marvin Reisenhauser. As Bill Veronin now will be able to overtake him as they make contact and contact again. Oh boy. You know, maybe the problem wasn't really the Honda. As again he tries to go for a gap. Oh my god, I don't know, as a commentator, there's just no words that can describe what I'm feeling. As Bill Veronin, most likely, very, very angry. Hopefully no no talking in chat, as he is just tumbling down. Yeah, Bill Veronin, definitely not a happy man. And Gianluca De Luca fighting with Pacholo Demano. Hopefully there's nothing being said in chat. That's the last thing we really want to see. And Sir Pluch now definitely going way, way ahead of the field. As Bill Veronin now just sitting there and saying thank you to the number 4. As now he's in the pits and most likely not going to be returning to the race. And David Dvorak in 7th place. He's made up 8 positions and now fighting with Radovan Zankel for 6th. David Dvorak just losing a little bit of time to Radovan Zankel, as Eric Giselle not too far off Sir Pluch for the lead of the race. Still very, very close, as it looks like Eric Giselle just dropping through the first sector and gaining it all back in the middle. As through the Schumacher rest as they go. And yeah, it's definitely a little bit harder to follow cars on this track. As Marvin Reisenhauser now successfully makes a overtake against Claudio de Barros. And making another move against the Waze Khan, who goes very, very wide. And now it's behind Claudio de Barros as well. Looks like there was contact again between Marvin Reisenhauser and Waze Khan, which is shocking. Christoph, he's made up a lot of positions already on the start. He finds himself up into 10th place, as he is probably looking for the podium finish today, as he's 4 tenths away from Bertold Limpa and way, way quicker than a lot of the people around him. A 54.9 is on par with the top 3. And that is with him also having to overtake so many people. And let's have a look at the the weather reports saying that it's an optimum track now. It's Christoph going round the outside, and that's how a move is supposed to be done. No contact there. An absolutely stunning move by Christoph going round the outside, and good sportsmanship by Bertold Limpar to not to not continuously try and bang doors with Christoph. So a good showing of racecraft between the two of them. As now we head to the back of the field with Gianluca De Luca, Pocholo Di Mano and Awais Khan fighting for 15th place. No, for 16th place, as Awais was already passed by Pocholo. Now it's Gianluca De Luca who also has to make the move on Awais Khan. As Sert Pluk now sets the fastest lap of the race. Eric Giselle would have set the fastest lap if it was valid. So already picking up maybe a warning or two for track limits. And on the inside, great move by Gianluca De Luca. Maybe a little bit of door banging if we didn't see it, but still a very good move into the final corner, and ahead of him now for 17th place, Radovan Zankel. Now behind David Dvorak and trying to amend that by overtaking him round the outside. Ooh, a little bit of a moment there. As another big moment there as Radovan Zankel now off the track. And behind David Dvorak, as he's got Christoph, who's now ahead of Will Pierre. He's got Jarek Koch right in front of him, who, ironically, they did make contact last race, and he was lapping them. There's Marvin Reisenhauser now, making contact again with Marco Horsono. You know what, if I had $1 for every time Marvin Reisenhauser made contact with another driver, and again another contact with Marco Horsono, and up into 13th place. Now back up to the lead, we see Eric Giselle getting closer and closer with Sert Pluk. Down the straight he goes. And is he trying to go for a move? Yes, he does. He does go on the inside. Ooh, it's going to be a bit of a stretch in order to get in there. Eric Giselle does momentarily make himself up into P1. Sert Pluk, though, not liking that. He's still on the inside. Eric Giselle most definitely going off the track. Still side by side as they head into the next corner. Sert Pluk ahead even before they go through that. So a good move. A good fight between them two. But still they fight on. Eric Giselle, you can go from the inside camera to just see how close he's getting to Sert Pluk. It's down the straight towards the chicane. A very cloudy day in Germany. And not getting close enough. And super close, as you can see. You can barely even see the number plate on Sir's car. But Eric having a little bit of a moment through the final corner would definitely hurt his straight line potential. As Christoph now up into 9th place from last. He's up into 7th. Ahead of Radovan's ankle, and now David Dvorak next on the list of people that he needs to overtake. And Pachola Demano and Claudio De Barros making contact yet again. Those two are quite literally inseparable, as Bertold Limpar and Villepierre exchange positions. Bertold Limpar now ahead and up into 9th place. Villepierre down into 10th. And we can just have a look at what has been going on. Is there much damage on these cars? No, not really. As Pachola Demano now sets his eyes on Awais Khan. And hoping to get up into 15th place after dropping from 13th. Definitely wants to make up for that. As round the outside he tries to go. But we will cut to the front as Krzysztof Makowski. Oh my god, I said it again. I said your second name again. He goes for the move on David Dvorak. A little bit of a bump there, but nothing that could have hurt anybody. And up into 6th place. Now Eric Giselle yet again has a pretty good run out of the final corner. Does he have a good run out of the final corner? It doesn't look like he's gaining much. Even in the slipstream, as Sir Pluk able to just pull ahead of him. Eric Giselle, it's going to be a little bit of a too late of a lunge in order to make the move. And he will have to settle in 2nd place yet again. Eric fumbling under pressure, says Aben in chat. It could definitely be that he's fumbling under pressure, since this is probably one of the best opportunities he has to get a race win in VGTR in this season. As Abe not in today. And who left? No clue who left. Somebody just left. Let me have a look. Oh, it was Awais Khan who left. Awais Khan retiring from the race, unfortunately. I have no clue what that says. I'm gonna have to try and translate that. As Eric still continuing to fight on. Which game is this? Okay, it is assettocorsacompetizione, or commonly shortened down to ACC. As Pachola Demano yet again ahead of Claudio De Barros, and up into 15th place. As Eric just, oh, Sir Pluk having a big moment there through the final corner. Sliding all over the place, and Eric Giselle now. Oh, he's definitely going to be reeling him in through this straight in the slipstream. Can Eric finally try and go for a move? He goes for the inside. He goes for the dive. Sir Pluk leaving the door open. No, he didn't. He went for the switchback, and the switchback, ooh, just nearly successful as they bang doors. And Krzysztof now having the best lap. Sir Pluk trying to go for the inside, but Eric able to defend it for now as he sets up into 1st place. I'm not sure why Sir Pluk left such a big gap for Eric Giselle. Now I do understand the concept that he was trying to go for the switchback, the classic switchback, but looks like it just did not work out for him. And now he's down into 2nd place. Come on, Eric, you can do that. Get that win. Well, 43 minutes to go. What could go wrong? Definitely haven't seen that happen before, where people who run in top positions crash out. And then absolutely... Oh, hold on. What's going on up here? They're going side by side still. Sir Pluk forced into the gravel. Oh, he's not going to be too happy with that. Looks like Eric made a mistake all of a sudden, because it was about a 5/10 gap. Turned to way, way less. And all of a sudden, going side by side is Dries Verhulst. What's happened to him? Stranded off the side of the track. Yeah, looks like a hardware failure for Dries Verhulst. And he may well be out of this race, which is so unfortunate to see after he did so well to be running in 3rd place. Now, Oliavafik Priyanata in 17th place, trying to get past Claudia de Barros for what will be 15th place after all of them overtake Dries Verhulst. And in real life, this would be a full course yellow, which would shake up the order quite a bit. This time out, it is not a full course yellow. And they will all have to come into the pits. When they come into the pits, what's happened to Claudio? Oh, they had contact. Just a little bit of contact forced Claudio de Barros completely into a spinner. And to come into the pits. Now, I wonder if coming into the pits right now is a good idea at all, as he's going to have to come into the pits again. Wow. It's a mystery. Radovan Zankel, 3/10 away from David Dvorak in 6th place. Christoph still making monumental climbs as he tries to go for Ganahari Hutama in 4th. Christoph, right now, setting 54.3s per lap, which is 2 seconds quicker than Ganahari, a second quicker than Oliver Ewig. And by the way, Radovan Zankel, a big move for him as he now moves up into 6th place. Ooh, a little bit of contact was there, because he had a compromised exit out of that corner. David Dvorak back ahead of him. Sir Pluk setting a lap time a whole second quicker than Eric Giselle last lap. Could have another fight for the lead. As Christoph now ahead of Ganahari Hutama. And Radovan Zankel going for the dive. It is not the move, not the place to go for the move, it looks like. A lot of people trying to go for a move into the first corner, and David Dvorak absolutely removing Radovan Zankel from the track. Who lets him go, actually, so did not want to do that on purpose, it looks like, and letting go of 2 positions, which is a big blessing for Bertolt Limpa, who's now up into 6th place. And is Dries Verhulst back onto the track, by the way, because looks like he is back going. Yes, he is, so it looks like it was a hardware failure, but doesn't look like it really mattered. Back up to the front. Sir Pluk trying to go back up into the lead of the race after letting the position go pretty much. And in the slipstream now down the straight. And ooh, a big moment there for the Honda driver. The Honda definitely not having the greatest of traction, but some people saying that people that don't drive the Honda too regularly, the rear end is very, very sticky. So it's got a ton of grip on the rear end. Now, I'm not sure how true that is. Obviously, do fact check me. As somebody left again. I think that was Marco Horsono. No. Marco Horsono is still there. Ah, it's Claudio Dubarros leaving the race, unfortunately. And still this fight continues on. Is there rain coming? No, there isn't. The pit window is finally open. And who is going to dive into the pits first? Which one of these two is going to go and dive in and go for their mandatory fuel and tire change? We'll see. It won't be either of them. It's Fabio Gallimini now also fighting with Lars Buis, one of the other Blue Hawk cars. Well, we go back up to the front as Sir Pleur. Will he redo what Eric did to him? Will he just go for the move? Not this time out, he won't. Not wanting to test his brakes on the Honda, as it looks like Eric Giselle is just going to be under so much pressure. This whole entire race will be under pressure. And Sir Pleur yet again losing a little bit of traction on his Honda. Losing a bit of time to Eric Giselle. Lars Buis into the pits. And so is Marvin Reisenhauser for the mandatory tire change and the mandatory refuel. Now, if you are enjoying this race, then do drop a like and subscribe, as it is a free way to support us. Ollie of Apic coming into the pits. And we'll see who... Oh, that is a penalizable offense, by the way. Knocking over that thing on purpose, so they might get a penalty if somebody does spot them. Now, it is unfortunate for them that I spotted it. Very unfortunate for them that I spotted it, because and let's go back to the front as Sir Pleur now. Just a 10th away from Eric Giselle. Not coming into the pits. Not coming into the pits, are they? Sir Pleur still not too close. Not close enough. As we see now, Lars Buis and Jarek Koch coming out of the pits. Yeah, and already the stewards are on it. For Wapik maybe getting a pretty substantial penalty, because, well, we all saw what he did. You know, some people, they might, on some tracks, they may be able to say, oh, well, I did it on accident, you know, nothing that we could have done. But here you definitely saw. He did that on purpose. He went over it. Now, Surplus definitely not wanting to come into the pits. If Eric is not coming in, so these two are just gonna... These are just gonna continue to fight it out until one of them comes in. As you can see, the people that didn't see the board getting us top go 30, Eric Carr and Radovan's ankle, both getting a stop go 30 penalty. It's just really, really unfortunate that people do that, but hey ho. And maybe based on that, Vafik might be getting a bigger penalty. And Surplus, he definitely has the pace to go quicker. As another person leaves, I cannot for the life of me know who it is. It's Dries Verhulst. As we saw, Dries Verhulst having that issue, and there comes Surplus into the pits. Ooh, nearly hitting the wall as well. As Christoph... Oh my god, did Surplus get himself a penalty? That is the last thing he needs really in this. As Christoph now inherits second place. Radovan's ankle also coming in to serve his stop go 30. And a lot of people now following as well. Is it gonna rain? No, it's not. Okay. I was about to say, are people just coming into the pits because it's gonna rain? No, it's not gonna rain. Everything's fine. Will Pierre goes up into third place. But these people obviously have not pitted yet. Gianluca De Luca making the move on Fabio Gallimini. Did Surplus get himself a penalty? No, okay, he didn't. It did look like he went into the pits just a little bit too quick, as Radovan's ankle was going too slow, and I just thought that maybe a possibility that there was just, I don't know, some sort of problem. And finally, Eric Giselle into the pits as well. So is Christoph. And does he break enough? Hopefully he did break enough. Because not knowing where the board is definitely proving to be hard for some people. Now, Eric Giselle is still in the pits. Surplus, where is he? He's coming towards the chicane as David Dvorak. Ooh, man, definitely not the best he could have done. Will Pierre now also into the pits. Sir Plurk now through the final corner. Eric Giselle still in the pits. Sir Plurk rounding out the final corner. Eric Giselle getting off. And where's Sir Plurk? He's out there, and it looks like Eric has been able to clear Sir Plurk by quite a margin. As Christoph also coming out of the pits. And he'll like this. He's in 3rd place now. As now we watch how this race plays out. With no rain expected. Most of the people with their pit stops already served. No more stop goes. Only Gianluca De Luca and Fabio Gallamini yet to serve their pit stops. And it is a race purely on pace now. Finally, Fabio Gallamini coming into the pits as well. The final 25 minutes off this race to go. Will there be the final fight for the lead? As Sir Plurk, not sure how, but he did lose 1.4 seconds in the pit stops compared to Eric. Christoph also might be in this battle as he's only 13 seconds off. And he is on the podium, which will be a much better finish than last time for him. And finally, Gianluca De Luca coming into the pits. And that is pretty much it for everybody who had to pit, apart from Marco Horsono, who unfortunately had to pit quite early and might have to come into the pits also quite early right now. Or quite late, as pit window closes. It closes soon. And he will get a penalty if he doesn't come into the pits. Well, okay. Sir Plurk sets in the fastest lap of the race yet again. That is now a half a second quicker than Eric last lap. As he pushes on. Whole 23 minutes to go. That is around, if we do 23 minutes to seconds, which is 1380 minutes divided by how long does it take to do a lap around here? About 110 seconds. That is about 12 to 13 laps that he has in order to get past Eric Giselle. Now, if every single lap, this is some maths for you guys, every single lap he does 5/10 quicker, then he is going to be able to gain 5 seconds in the next 10 laps. Which is way more than the gap between them two right now. So, we'll see how that plays out. You know, if you ever thought that esports is for uneducated people or for it doesn't involve much brain thought, this is the sort of stuff you have to do whenever you're you know, racing. As yeah, looks like Marco Harsono will probably get a penalty as he comes into the pits after the pit stop window, and yeah, just a little bit of a miscalculation by him. Third plug. Last lap. Not much quicker than Eric, only 0.02 of a second. But the gap's still fluctuating from 2 to 1.8 seconds every single time that they come through the next set of corners. As third plug. What's happened to him? He's made a big mistake before the Schumacher S's. Oh, and that's going to hurt his chances of the lead by a big amount. That's why did the timing, the camera people didn't show that. The camera people did not show that. And now he's going to be under pressure from Christoph as well. Which is a very big blessing for Eric, as now he doesn't have to worry as much. As I think they will have to be gaining about a second per lap in order to get ahead of him. So, unless Eric does something stupid, I'm not sure there will be much of a chance for the rest to go and overtake him. His last lap, a 53.8 for him. Christoph going quicker at 53.6. Quickest man on the track right now. And it does look like it was just a simple spin. As Christoph already reducing the gap from 4.1 to 3.8.9. As he now hopes to fight for second place, where he could have finished last race if it wasn't for an accident with a back marker that saw him tumble down to not that far off. Where is Eric Giselle going? Why is he going so slow? Oh, what did I say? Eric Giselle has an easy race win if he doesn't make a mistake. Well, there we go. Sir Pluk now cutting that gap down to 6.5 seconds. But the person who is most absolutely happy about this is going to be Christoph, as he is now not only reducing the gap to Sir Pluk, but reducing the gap to Eric Giselle, who's lost 5 seconds that last lap. And yeah, definitely not having the best time of his life, as his tires are going to be a little bit more cooked now compared to Christoph and Serd's. Though Serd also having a pretty substantial spin, which most likely cooked his tires, and the partially a reason why he is slowing down compared to to Christoph, and might be letting that position go in just a little bit. As there goes Christoph, flashing Radovan's ankle, trying to get him out of his way as quick as possible, and Radovan, you know what, submitting to that request quite quickly, as neither of them want to get in each other's ways. As Radovan having a very big moment out there, but keeping it on track, it looks like. Yes, he is. He's still out there, still alive, so not too much of a mistake for Radovan. But, you know, the question still stands. Who is gonna be up there? Who is gonna get P1, as it looks like it could be anybody's race. 17 minutes to go. They've got approximately 10 laps, maybe 9 laps to go. Serd Plug, all he needs to do is to be gaining about 7 to 8 tenths a lap on Eric Giselle, which looks like it's not happening right now. Eric Giselle, although slowest of the three, is not losing too much time to Serd Plug, and Christoph only losing about a tenth a lap, or tenth and a half to Christoph. So not everything's looking too grim for Eric's race, as long as he does not make any more mistakes, because the more mistakes he makes, the closer and closer these guys will get. Yeah, a pretty strong field indeed in the top three. As it is pretty much just going to be a waiting game here. To see who and how is going to be improving on their times. Eric, last lap, will be going 4:10 slower than his 53.9. Meanwhile, Serd Plug not improving on his time, neither is Christoph. It doesn't really matter for the both of them. As, yeah, Eric Giselle last lap, a 54.3. Whereas Serd Plug, a 53.8. Christoph, 53.7. So, last lap, a 5/10 improvement. A 5/10 gain on Eric's time for Serd Plug. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind joining, but it's full, right? No, you know what? This season is not full right now, so I don't know why I said it like that. It's not full right now. So you are able to join. It is only the second race of the season, so it still can fight for the championship, as a couple of people will probably be missing out a couple of races. And this whole championship is sponsored by Go Setups. So if you want to buy some very good setups for not only GT3 cars, but also the Cup car and the GT4s, most of the GT4s at least. You can do so by clicking on the link in the description, and you'll be able to buy either bundles. There's bundles for different cars. I think it's called the American bundle or American Plus something bundle, which gives you every single setup for every single track for your selected car, or you can either buy separate setups for separate tracks and separate cars, or alternatively you can also subscribe to their to their subscription. Just subscribe to their subscription, so then you can get 30 downloads every single month for, I think, what is $9.99 or $8.99 a month. It's worth it. Sounds good. Some great names in here. I can't see that. God damn it. I can't see the full thing. Some great names in here to see where I match up. Alright. Yeah, definitely. Like the driver of Apex 1, Christoph, right now running in third. Sir Pluch for Blue Hawk. And Eric Giselle also for Visceral running in first right now. Though is losing a pretty good amount of time to Sir Pluch every lap. What did I say that Sir Pluch needs to be gaining? 7/10 a lap. Well, Sir Pluch last lap able to gain 6/10 on Eric Giselle. Meanwhile, Christoph able to gain a 10th on Sir Pluch. So the race is on. The race is very much on. Nah, you're not here too. Yeah, and Abe driving for F Sim Racing. I don't know why your team hates sim racing. They say F sim racing. We don't like sim racing, so yeah, that's that. But it is just pretty much a waiting game right now as we see where people are shaping up. Sir Pluch, 3/10 gain on Eric Giselle. Christoph, a 10 slower than Sir Pluch. So Sir Pluch, the fastest man out of the top 3 right now. Literally just shaking shaking back and forth. Pendulum swinging back and forth. Who is getting the quicker laps? Looks like Eric right now is not the quickest. He hasn't been the quickest out of the top 3 for the last couple of laps ever since he had his spin. Yeah, with Abe on the grid, it is indeed a scary grid. You know, Abe just makes things very boring. We don't have these super intense moments where, you know, P1 is going 3/10 slower and P2 is going 3/10 quicker and P3 is going, you know, in the middle of that. We usually don't have this, since P1 is usually like a second quicker than everybody and he finishes like 50 seconds ahead of P2, and, you know, kind of like Max Verstappen. It's just boring. But it is indeed a very fun grid, though, nevertheless, because of the level that is set. But also, you know, there's people that are a little bit slower that enjoying these races, so it's all balanced out a little bit. As Eric last lap of 54.1. And Sir Pluch of 53.7, 4/10 up on Eric Giselle last lap. Christoph not gaining on Sir Pluch, but gaining on Eric. As it looks like both of them are just slowly creeping in to the back bumper of Eric Giselle. There's 9 minutes to go. 9 minutes to go. Not sure if Serplug will have the time to overtake Eric Giselle, it might be that he is just, you know, not enough. Not enough laps in order to get in there. As Gianluca De Luca now, and getting closer to the back of Berthold Limpar, and Villepierre also closing in the gap on Lars Buis, the other Blue Hawk car, the McLaren Blue Hawk car. Not sure if it's 100% working, but I found another 2/10 per lap. How about you find 2/10 less per lap, please? Let's replace your wheel with a G920 and see how quick you go. Let's force you to use aggressive setups. No, not aggressive. Safe setup. A G920 with the G920 pedals. And a 24-inch monitor that is, you know what, we'll keep it just mounted fine. Just a 24-inch monitor though. And we'll also give you I don't know, a GTX 1060 or something. And a i5 4th gen. Just for the fun of it. There's Gianluca De Luca. Still fighting on. 3/10 away from Berthold Limpar for P6. The top 3, the update is Serplug going 3/10 quicker than Eric Giselle last lap. But if he does continue this, he just will run out of laps. It looks like Eric Giselle losing quite a big amount of time last lap. As Gianluca De Luca 4/10 away down the straight now, both of them in the McLaren, so no top speed advantage for anybody except for Gianluca, who is in the slipstream and will try and go the long way round. And ooh, was there a little bit of contact? I'm not sure, but not able. Yeah, there was a little bit of contact, but doesn't look like it was terminal. As Gianluca just slowing a little bit down in his fight with Berthold Limpar. Now, Villepierre and Lars Buis on the inside. Villepierre trying to go. But unfortunately for him, luck is not on his... Oh my god, luck is not on his side. And he's not able to overtake or clear Lars Buis as quick as he would want to. Update on the front as Villepierre tries to go around the outside. Eric Giselle is a second slower than Serplug last lap. A whole second slower. Now, if that continues, then Serplug will be in striking distance, as F1 likes to say. Will be in striking distance within 3 laps, or 4 laps, since it's 3.6 seconds. He will be in striking distance within 4 laps, which is about the time that we have left. So, Serplug really just needs to get a 52 right now, and he will be up there. As the track is not going to be suddenly raining. As Gianluca De Luca now finally past Berthold Limpar, coming through the final corner and ahead for 6th place. Good stuff by him. As in the background, Villepierre also fighting with Lars Buis for 9th place. Battling it pretty nicely out. As Villepierre losing a bit of time through the final sector. The final sector only about 16 to 17 seconds. So a very fast-paced last sector. But unfortunately, you still can lose quite a bit of time if you are not careful, or if you just, you know, bump over the curbs a little bit too much, you can lose a lot of time. I'm not sure what happened to Christoph, but all of that early pace that he had, the 53.6 that he set as the fastest lap, it's just not really paid off for him at all. Looks like he pushed a little bit too early, too quick, and now he is the slowest of the three in the top three, so his hopes for a P2 unfortunately very much gone, as Villepierre trying to find the space round the outside, though not really working for him. Villepierre is still pushing on and pushing hard. Pushing a little bit too hard. Ooh, able to just about save it. As David Dvorak behind would have snatched up that position like fresh meat or fresh bread, whichever one you fancy. But Villepierre pushing just a little bit too hard and going off the track as the final lap about to start, which is gonna be a sigh of relief for Eric Giselle, as all he needs to do is keep the car under control and make it back home. It's a pretty good race for him so far. Not having the greatest of seasons last season. So far in the season, finishing in second, and he's on to finish in first. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be commentator cursing it. That's all he needs to do. If he is going to be mature about it, all he needs to do is take the car home. It does not matter if he loses a second or even 2 seconds this lap. All he needs to do is get it home, which is what he's doing. He's only got 2 more sectors to go. And I'm not sure Eric has won a single race in the VGTR. I'm pretty sure he has. It's just I have not remembered it. Anyway, Eric Giselle now rounding out the middle sector. As Pacholo Dabano not wanting to do an extra lap of this race and letting Eric Giselle through quite prematurely. As Eric Giselle now through the corner where he most of the time made a couple of mistakes. Going very, very nicely over it. Not earning himself a drive-through or anything, and he comes across the line to win his home race at the Nurburgring. Eric Giselle is the winner of the second race, with Sir Plurk following quite closely behind in second, and Christoph finally on the podium finishes in third. What a race. I may have forgot to withdraw from the race. Well, that is -5 points for you, sir. But there we go. Eric Giselle finally able to win the race. And to win it in quite some matter. Now, was there a little bit of pushing and pulling between the two? Absolutely. But nevertheless, It has been such an amazing race for him. -5 is better than 0. Indeed, there is going to be some sort of points on the board. Spiritual Limpar finishes in 7th. Fabio Galamini will finish in 8th. Lars Buis in 9th. Will Pierre, unfortunately for him, will be finishing... Ooh, might not even finish in 10th as he's got David Dvorak right behind him, trying to snatch that position away from him. As now, through the chicane, David... That's not David Dvorak, that's somebody else. Who the hell is that? Oh, that's Vapik Priyanata. There we go, Vapik Priyanata. Trying to unlap himself from Villepierre. Villepierre finishes in 10th. David Dvorak will finish in 11th, and that is the final of the finishes. And a couple of inappropriate messages in chat. As that is it for the race. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to everybody who has raced today. Don't points reset if you change cars. So couldn't I just switch cars and get reset back to 0? No. That is not how that works, Mr. Gilles Alaman. You cannot cheat the system in that sense. But thank you to everybody who watched the race. And we will be back next week for the Nurburgring. No, for the... Hold on, I'm trying to figure this out. The Spa multi-class. And for round 3 of Brands Hatch in the sprint season. And as always, if you have enjoyed, please do drop a like and subscribe, since it's a free way to support us. But nevertheless, have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time.